guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/Tales from Tech Support. I'll take CPU and processor for $250,000, please. I think this can go here. If not, let me know. It's not so much supporting a user as it is dealing with a vendor. In the early 2000s, I was a network admin for a local school system. We had a server farm with mainly IBM monsters that ranged from brand new to just a few years old, but each one doing its job pretty well. This was a time period before schools were funded like crazy in the IT department, and everything lived in a converted closet. We did have UPSs, but no generators, so extended power outages were very, very unwelcome. One night, the inevitable thunderstorm rolled through and lightning lit up the sky. It also lit up the transformer that feeds the school. A large amount of the contents in were damaged extensively. When it came time to fire everything back up and see the fallout, we found a smattering of failed hard drives and such. A few hours of letting RAID rebuild with spares did the trick. And then there was trusty old Frank. Frank was an older server that was running some very specific admin/accounting programs and had been one of our most stable servers. But now, he was dead. The time came for each department to talk to insurance and tell them what we had lost. We turned in our list of items and what we needed financially to replace each of them. The hard drives were easy, but Frank wasn't quite as cut and dry. We priced a new server that could do the tasks involved, and the price came in around $5,000. As insurance companies are known to do, they decided that was unacceptable. They decided to treat us like we were ignorant and/or criminals trying to get a free payday out of them. Instead of a brand new server, the obvious answer to them was to get a certified IBM specialist to come in and replace the parts that were bad. So a few days later, the tech shows up. As a funny side note, in rural Kentucky, you don't find a lot of certified IBM techs. That means if you have been running an IBM-based network for any time, you know all of them. After a short conversation about all the latest events, we show him Frank. He does what diagnostics he can, PSU comes on, that's about it, and concludes we need a new motherboard and processor. The unique thing about Frank is that he was bought during a time that the Pentium Pro processor was a great processor, but it stopped being made in 1998. He had been doing a great job for us for well over 6 years. Now, this was a time before eBay, and IBM wasn't about to go looking too hard to find us a replacement. So now we get to the point of the title. The insurance company was demanding replacement parts, and that is what our good friend the tech was going to give him. He scoured every resource he could find, including firing up the production to get us a replacement, and then put all of that information into a nice quote and send it to both us and the insurance company. The motherboard wasn't nearly as convoluted, I guess, because they found one of them for a mere $50,000. The processor itself was in a domain all its own, though, and the cheapest IBM-certified processor available was going to be roughly $201,000. Overnight, we became the insurance adjuster's best friends. You see, because he had pushed for the replacement part route, it became an option to us, and not only to them. And now, we could choose the $250,000 solution instead of the lesser one. It was nice to watch him squirm and kiss our butts, but in the end, it made more sense for us to go with the new solution. He was very keen on getting us what we needed, and the relationship with our insurance agent actually took a great leap forward going forward. Good old Frank came through again. Good old Frank! Trusty old Frank. From beyond the grave. Oh my goodness. I bet you... Oh, can you imagine getting that email? Or whatever, however it was sent? So, your great solution is gonna cost us $250,000. How you like that? Yeah. It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I would be slightly tempted. Just there's a little bit inside of me that would be tempted to get the replacement parts just because of how unique that must be. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it probably works better for newer stuff. But I don't know if it's true, but there seems to be this whole kind of thing about how things made a while ago seem to be of better quality, And I think that's like sometimes true and sometimes not, but I think a lot of times because it wasn't all like super duper mass produced from other countries, etc., in like the absolute cheapest way possible. I think it is just a lot of times, other than the fact that maybe there's not the same advances in technology and abilities and like capabilities, but I think maybe on the reliability part, I don't know. Just welcome to the random tangent time. Don't want me to fix the servers? Fine. First time posting in this sub. Cross-posting because I was told you might enjoy this. Background, sometime around 2000, I worked for a major finance/brokerage company in the IT department. I worked the overnight shift alone, and among other things, my responsibilities included monitoring of the company's most important servers, including the trading servers, as well as performing almost all repairs on these servers, since my shift was the least impactful on business. These servers were how every trade from every broker worldwide was processed on behalf of clients. We had 8 servers all behind a load director. For those non-IT people, think traffic at an intersection with a cop letting vehicles know which way they can go. At the time, I reported directly to one of the assistant vice presidents for IT. Cast is simply me, Don, AVP, and Kathy, VP. So at some point during my job, I began to notice issues with our trading servers. I determine the cause and come up with a plan to repair the failing parts. On the first night of the week, I will take down 2 servers, repair them, bring them back up, and put them back behind the load director. I will repeat this for the next 3 nights, allowing all 8 servers to be repaired with minimal impact and have the last night of the week in case anything goes the way of the toilet. Understand that while I had authority to do this with just about any of the other 1,000+ servers the company had, I could not touch these without Don's approval. So I sent an email to the Don detailing the problem, the parts I needed to order, the plan, etc. All I needed from her was a response that said approved, and I would have everything completed within 2 weeks. Also note that I had read receipts turned on for all my emails. As you can probably guess, I heard nothing back. 2 weeks later, I follow up with another email reminding her of the issue and including all the documentation I had sent with the first one. Nothing. Another 2 weeks go by, and I send a second follow-up email noting that this isn't a question of if these machines will fail, but only a matter of when. Crickets. Another 2 weeks go by. It is now about noon on Friday, and I am home having just begun my weekend. I get a call that goes something like this. Hello?
Is this OP?
Yes?
This is Kathy.
Who? When I'm off the clock, that part of my brain turns off, lol.
It's Kathy, your boss.
Oh, hey, Kathy. Oh, this cannot be good. I'm now realizing that my boss's boss is calling me at my house and that all the excrement must have followed an upward trajectory towards the device circulating air.
All the trading servers have crashed. We need everyone on hand.
I'll be there in 20 minutes. It was usually a 35-minute drive. Basically, 1 server crashed and the load from that server was transferred to the remaining 7, which caused number 2 to fail under the increased load. Rinse and repeat for all 8 servers. I arrived at work to find the entire team is there with 8 brand new servers ready to be built. We get everything built, locked down, restored from latest backups, and online again by 6 p.m., then home for the weekend. I get to work Sunday night, my Monday, and the first thing I do is print out emails and those oh-so-precious red receipts. I place them in a nice folder on the corner of my desk. At 7 a.m. Monday morning, end of my shift, Kathy walks into my office and asks me to join her in her office. I say sure, and grab the folder and follow her. When we get to her office, present are me, Kathy, Dawn, and a lady from HR.
So, OP, I understand from Dawn that it is your job to monitor the trading servers. Can you tell me what happened?
Sure. I open the folder. As you can see from this email, dated here, highlighted for your convenience, I notified Dawn of the problem and requested approval to go ahead with the fix. Here, I open the folder again, is the red receipt showing she read it the following morning at this time, again, highlighted for your convenience. Rinse and repeat for the other emails.
Okay, thank you, OP. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Fallout. The company lost a stupid amount of money making good on every single trade that didn't happen due to the crash. I came back to work that night to find out from the team that Don was gone. I never told them the details. I was assigned to the backup contingency planning team and later to the team that implemented the BCP so that something like this would never happen again. We got a new AVP.
I wonder why.
Oh. See, this is a thing, like, I get it, like, I don't like dealing with problems, but at the same time, like, you literally basically not only identify the problem, but you were like, here's how I'm gonna take care of it. And I don't know if there was just something she didn't want to do to deal with it. I don't get it. And managers do this all the time. There's just certain things they just really, really like to avoid, and it always screws the worker over in some way, which ultimately screws the company over because there's a reason the worker is coming to you about something, right? And there's just something about this that's kind of nice because it's like, all right, you want to ignore me. That's fine. That's fine. But when it all goes to crap because you decided you didn't want to answer me, that's gonna be on you. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. If she got fired for sure instead of just, demoted or something or transferred, imagine trying to explain that on your resume. Yeah, I left this job because I lost that company like gajillions of dollars because I didn't respond to an email. Oh, that'd be horrifying. Safety paper, or how I learned to leave notes. This one actually is from quite some time ago. I must have been 16 or 17 years old, still in school and doing a summer job at a big local company. It wasn't anything special, just 4 weeks of tidying up workspaces for test builds, mostly automation machinery for steel plants and stuff like that. My job, keep the floor tidy, lay or draw cables, and make sure everything is connected correctly. So one time we have a high voltage power cord that needs to be removed. I am tasked to do that, so good boy that I am. First thing I do is to check whether there is still power on it. What do you know? There is! So I flip the fuse and go to the other end of the cable to screw off the head of the cable in order to get it out of the wall. That of course involves the positive and negative wire to be removed from the plastic head too. No idea what they're called in English, so sorry. Next thing I know, I hear a loud popping sound and power is gone in the whole building. I just stand there quite surprised and a bit confused. Then the howling starts. Some guy from the test buildup comes running, screaming bloody murder. Who the heck just killed all the power? Well, it is me. So I say, I think I shorted everything, but didn't get any further because he takes that opportunity to scream to heaven and hell and curse my name, which he didn't know, and thus summoning my boss, who rightfully asks, what's happening? He killed the power! I switched the fuse off first. It's shorted. Shut up, both of you. So we both tell our side of the story. I say that I flipped the fuse, no power on the cable, so I thought I could take it out with no danger. SBM says that something did not work at his test buildup, so he goes to the power station, flips in a couple fuses, and pronto, stuff works. Until I shorted the whole building, of course. Since boss was the one who told me to get this cable, something is off. We go back to the power station and check it out. Turns out that it was not me who flipped the other fuse. It was someone from the same team as SBM who wanted to test something different, which in turn destroyed whatever test SBM was running. So my boss takes me to one side and says, new rule, always stick a piece of paper on fuses if you take them out in a live environment. Write some note or something, just so people don't do stupid crap. Then he takes another look at me and asks, what's that? Turns out that those anti-static t-shirts they offered at the company for workers, of which I got 2, are worth their weight in gold. Those positive and negative wires, they didn't touch each other. They both touched my t-shirt, about 3 to 4 centimeters apart from each other. High voltage cruised through that fabric instead of me because it was a way better conductor than the rest of me. It also fused in the process, leaving a nice melted patch which was quite unelastic, a bit like rubber. Boss said that this shirt quite possibly saved my life. Had I worn normal stuff, either the fabric might have caught fire, or I would have ended with nice burns somewhere on my chest, left about 1.500 volts, plus a stopped heart. Let's just say I religiously use notes from there on. That's terrifying. Yeah, I don't do the electricity thing because of this. Like, I know that I'm gonna do something stupid or not understand the rules about something, and something horrible is gonna happen. Yeah, so even though like I know how to plug in the things that I need to plug in and stuff, but that's about it. Like, that's about as far as it's going for me. Also, someone in the comments was like, what are you talking about, like an anti-static t-shirt? Like, didn't know those existed. And someone else said they're probably referring to something that is also called something about an arc flash protector, I think it's what it's called. And they said it was like a kind of vest or something that they are supposed to wear. I don't know. So if you know more about that, you can share in the comments. But just to help any of you who were also confused about that part, there you go. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really quickly, I'd like to thank my patrons. Up on the screen, you should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you are interested in becoming a patron, checking out the original posts from today's video, or sending me an email for possible inclusion in a future video, all of that information is in the description box, so be sure to check it out. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!